Hello, welcome to episode 248 of the Craft House Magic podcast. My name's Ellie and I'm coming to you from Norwich in Norfolk in the UK, and today is the 27th of April. So welcome everybody. I hope you all had a lovely crafty week since the last time I've spoken to you, and I'm here to share all the things that I've been making in the last 7 days. So today I have some knitting, some crochet, I have some confessions. They're very innocent confessions, so it's okay. I have some information on my shop, and then I've got a little appearance from Jensen at the end of the podcast wearing some knitwear. So we've got a few Makalongs going on in the Ravelry group on Instagram at the moment. There's some information on the screen, but also in the description bar down below. So let's get on with the knitting, shall we? And as you can see, ta-da! I am so pleased that I have actually finished my Twists and Turns shawl by Stephen West. Now I have pretty much followed the pattern, apart from I didn't do the last little bit along the edge. There was some more stripes that you could complete, but I liked the way that it balanced the way it is now, the way I finished it off. There are instructions to say to finish it off at this point if you didn't want to do a larger version. So this is the Twist and Turns shawl by Stephen West, and it was a mystery knit along that started October last year, and I've only just finished it. Oh dear. I did sort of think that I might be able to just sort of finish it before Christmas. Absolutely no way. This seemed to take forever. I have done quite a few of Stephen West's mystery knit alongs, and I really struggled keeping up with this one. So this is how I am going to be wearing mine, I think. My favourite bit is the zigzag bit in the middle, and then these stripe bits at the sides, because that's the same sort of stripe. I like how that sort of matches in and hangs down at the front, and then you've got your little pop of colour at the bottom and the sides. So I did actually take some footage when I was blocking it, so you can see how I've laid it out, and it looks like a Star Wars ship. So I've took a little video of how I sort of laid it out when I was blocking it, so you can see really close up the little sections. But here we go, here it is, all finished and all blocked. So we started off in this centre section, which was the bit that took me the longest, I think. That took me ages. And there's a bit where there's like these braids, which are really, really pretty. So in the original pattern, there was a section at the bottom of these zigzag bits that hung down, which was quite a lot lower than the rest of the shawl, so I found that I liked it finished at this point instead. The only other thing that I did differently is that in the pattern, for this bit where there's a 1x1 rib, it said to start it here, but I actually started it right up in the corner there and picked up this section at the same time, because I think my section here doesn't actually come quite up as far as Stephen's. I must have gone into the same stitch on a couple of rows, so it was a bit lower. So I picked up stitches along this bit as well and treated this point as the other points were in the pattern, and I've just done an extra little point there, which I think brings it together nicely. So there we go. One of my other favourite things is this section here, where you put a little bit extra in those cables, and it is so pretty. That is so much fun though. I think it took me about 2 evenings to do all 10 of those little I-cords to pop into the cables there, but isn't that lovely? I love it. So there we go. a finished item. And actually, now that these have been blocked, these were curling up like mad and they've flattened out nicely. So hopefully they'll stay like that as I wear it. So there we go. That is my Stephen West finished and all ready to wear. So I used my own hand-dyed yarn in a set of yarns that I dyed up specifically for this and knit along. So you needed 2 of the brown, 2 of the turquoisey green, and then 1 skein of the pop of colour, which I've done in like a mustard colour because I didn't want it to sort of stick out too much. I thought that they complemented each other really well. And I chose to do mine on an MCN base because it's lovely and soft to work with and lovely for a shawl. So that's merino, cashmere and nylon. And it's lovely and squishy and thick. So there we go, that is a finished shawl. Ta-da! I'm so pleased that I've actually finished this shawl. It has been a long time on the needles. I feel like I've still been working on a couple of projects that I started this year, and those are all done now. So here goes on more of the Make 9 list, I think. So Liz, Adam's mum, had been knitting on a cardigan for me. So this is... it's still on the needles at the moment, but this is a baby vertebrae and the pattern is by Kelly van Niekerk, and we've knitted one of these before. So Liz has knitted the main body of this cardigan, but then I've gone around the neck and the length of the cardigan and picked up stitches for the ribbing around the front, and I've knitted about 5 or 6 rows so far. So in the pattern I think it tells you to do only a couple more rows than I've done here, but I know that when I did my previous version I kept knitting until I'd used a bit more of the yarn up, because I used 100 grams and I thought I might as well use the yarn up and make the ribbon a bit thicker and a bit wider so that I can pull it around him a little bit more. So this is knitted in a Zauberball. So this is knitted in a Zauberball in Stark 6, which is actually a sport weight yarn. So when I bought this in the shop in Shrewsbury, this was from You and Ply, I think she said it was a DK. So I thought, oh, I could possibly do the baby vertebrae because there's instructions for 4-ply, DK and Aran weight, which is brilliant. And I thought, oh, I'll do the DK version, but I've actually looked it up on Ravelry and it is a sport, and I was looking at it actually that it isn't quite as thick as a DK. So in between a DK and a fingering weight is a sport weight yarn. There is 400 meters to this 150 grams, so I decided that rather than doing the DK version of the cardigan, I'll just stick with the fingering weight version pattern instructions and then see how it goes. And actually I've put this up against the other version that I've done in a fingering weight, and it looks pretty much exactly the same, although the version that we knitted before, me and Liz knitted it together again, was in it was labelled as a fingering weight yarn, but it was quite a generously thick fingering weight yarn, so they've come out about the same. So this is the one that we made before. Liz knitted the body and I knitted the ribbon around the neck, and you can see that I've done my ribbon quite a bit wider than the original pattern. And that finished off pretty much all of that skein of yarn. I will get Jensen to model this at the end of the podcast so you can see how this looks on, and obviously the new cardigan should look pretty much like that when it's ready for Jensen to wear as well. So hopefully I can get him to keep still long enough to show you that at the end of the video. So that is the Baby Vertebrae cardigan by Kelly van Niekerk in a Zauberball yarn that I picked up from You and Ply in Shrewsbury. So the next thing I've got to show you is socks. Now, me and my mum have had a bit of a collaboration with some sock knitting as well. So me and Liz have been doing cardigans, me and my mum have been doing socks. So I've got 2 pairs of socks here that me and mum have been working on. So I've pretty much knitted about 4 or 5 rows on this sock, and then mum's knitted the rest. It's not a massive leg, but these are going to be for dad, and he doesn't like a long leg. So she's done that, ready for me to put the heels in, because mum doesn't like doing heels or decreases or anything like that. I knitted the full cuff of this, and then I sent it to Mum to knit, and she's knitted the leg of the sock, and then I've been working on the heel flap. This yarn is the Opal Memories in the colourway 11002, if anyone's interested. I did actually have some of these in my shop, but they sold out completely, and I kept one for myself, which was a bit naughty. But these again are going to be for Dad. So I've done the 72 stitch count version of my simple top down sock pattern, which is a free pattern both on my website and on Ravelry. I've done the same heel flap, but I have done 4 extra rows of the heel flap just to give him a little more room on his instep for Dad. So I've done those extra rows, normal heel turn, and then I'm on the decreases on the foot here, and I'm using some DPNs. These particular ones are some Knit Pro Zing, and these ones here are higher sharps that Mum's been working on. She actually prefers using the higher sharp needles because they're nice and slippy and really nice and sharp. But I just had these 2.5mm zings to cast another set on rather than stealing another set out of my shop stock. So I've been good and not stealing stock. Those are the socks that I've been working on as well. So once I've done the heel flap and the decreases, I'm going to post these both back to Mum, and she's going to knit the foot for me. And then I'll knit the actual toe decreases and Kitchener stitch them off. So it's a collaboration. And by the time we finish both of these pairs, Dad will have 2 new pair of socks. And he does like hand knitted socks, so I don't mind knitting those. And he only has a few pairs, so I thought it's about time that I knit some for him. So like I said, I've got the simple top down sock pattern, which is free on my website on Ravelry as well, but also I've got some video tutorials to do the top down sock, and I'll leave links to those in the description bar down below, as well as in the corner of the screen. I also have, if you're interested in the toe up socks, some tutorials for those as well. I haven't got the patterns written out properly yet, but I hope to do so in the future. But if you do look at the description bars of those videos, the instructions are all there. So now onto some crochet, and I'm sticking with a theme of socks. So when I went to the East Anglia Yarn Festival, I saw that Vicky Brown had some really cool crocheted sock patterns. So I thought, oh, I'm gonna have a go at these. These are the Gaspetti socks. Probably pronounced them completely incorrectly, but they are crocheted, and she had a lovely display out, and I thought I'm going to try some crochet socks for a change. So I've casted some on. So before I start, this is the gorgeous yarn I chose from East Anglia Yarn Festival from Weku Yarns, and this is Wide Eye Wanderer, and this is actually 100% superwash merino, so I probably should have picked one with some nylon in, but it's gorgeous and I'm sure it'll be fine. Adam and I have so many socks that in rotation they last a bit longer anyway, because we already have quite a lot. So how far have I got? I haven't got very far, but I have made a decent amount of progress. So I've done the cuff section, and I'm really impressed actually with how stretchy the crochet is on the cuff section. So to do this, you actually had to do it on the side, which is really cool, and then work the strip and then join them together. And I'm really impressed with how sort of not standard crochet this looks, because it's sort of crocheted on the side, and I'm loving the way this yarn is working. Little pops of blues and pinks, absolutely gorgeous. So this is the section before I just about get to the lace section, so I'm excited to go on to the lace bit. So I love this yarn though. I think those are going to look lovely, but I am going to be crocheting these for Adam because he really likes thick socks. I think 4-ply is about as thick as I like to wear normally, because I get quite hot feet normally, but Adam's feet are always cold, so I think a crocheted sock is going to be slightly thicker than a knitted one, so I think these will be perfect for him. So I haven't done a swatch, which is really naughty. Oh dear. But what I did is I finished this section and then I tried it on Adam just to make sure it was fitting, and it seems to be fitting really nicely. Over his heel it seems a little bit tight, but once it's over it's perfect size for his leg and his foot, so I don't think I'd want to do it any bigger, otherwise it might fall down. So it'll be interesting to see how they fit when they're finished, because I've always been a bit nervous about crochet socks being harder to get to fit because the fabric isn't as stretchy. So there we go. I have been using a 3.5mm Amore crochet hook. This is the clover ones that I sell in my shop because I like the rubber grip on these, and 3.5mm hook is what's recommended in the pattern. So I'll let you know how I get on with those. So my next section is confessions. Now, I have had the most lovely card and gift off my friend Lorraine. Isn't this gorgeous? So these are really beautiful stitch markers. I think there's a little, there's a lobster clasp one, there's a progress keeper one in there as well. But these are from Crafty Cat Knitting Bits, and I think there's a website at the bottom. That's an Etsy shop. Crafty Cat Knitting Bits, and look at those really pretty stitch markers. Aren't they lovely? So I'll pop a link to the shop in the description bar down below if you're interested in trying to get hold of some of these for yourself. But thank you ever so much, Lorraine, that was really kind of you, and thank you for the lovely card as well. So that is all my confessions. So it's not proper confessions if it's a gift, is it? So now it's my shop update section. So we've got the yarn clubs for May are in the shop until the 7th of May, and they'll be shipped out on the 19th of May. Those are the mixtape minis, which are a random mixtape of songs that are my favourite songs from years gone by. And then I've done the sock set, or you can alternatively use them for a shawl in the theme of music from the movies, Action Adventure Edition, and those are designed to go together in sets, so May and June will go together. You also have the option of ordering 2 months at a time. If you want to combine more than 2 months, if you want me to hold on to them for 4 or 6 months, I'm very happy to do that, but they won't be sent out until the last of the months is ready to ship. We've got yarn advent calendars in the shop, and the project bag and sock set alternative if you want those, in the theme of Rockin' Robin this year. There's quite a few different options. You've got merino and nylon, merino, nylon and Selena, BFL and nylon, and then a merino and DK at the moment in different sizes, 10 grams, 20 grams, and 12 days and 24-day advents, with the option of having Christmas Day as well, a whole skein for Christmas Day. But somebody contacted me, asked if I would do a non-superwash yarn without nylon, and I just wondered whether other people would be interested in this, because I might add it to the listing in August later on this year, because there'll be a second chance for people to purchase advents later on in the year so that they've had time to save up. So if you would like to see the 100% non-superwash yarn without any addition of nylon, please let me know, and if people are interested in it, I will add it to the listing. I think I've seen some really nice Highland wool minis that could potentially be dyed up for minis for the advent as well. Of course, the non-superwash yarns don't dye quite the same as a superwash yarn. Superwash yarns actually take the dye quite a lot better, so with non-superwash yarns the colours tend to blend a bit more, so there'll be a different effect. It won't be exactly the same. So last of all, I wanted to mention that people who ordered the country fair kits, they were due to be shipped at the end of this week, but I'm just waiting for something else to arrive, so they will be shipped next Friday. That's the 5th of May at the latest, so there may be a little bit of delay on there depending on when these things arrive. So last of all, it's Jensen. So over to you, Jensen.
Jensen, are you going to come to Mummy? Yeah, you can have your dinner in a minute. Oops.
Up you get.
Oh, you're good, aren't you? Yep, you off that way. You're going to take your spoons. So Jensen's wearing his baby Vertebrae cardigan. And it's a lovely, lovely fit. It's got plenty of room to grow in. But I think it's a staple that we like to put him in quite a lot. You can just pop it over his clothes when he's a little bit chilly. So you're going to give us a twirl, Jensen? Going to give us a twirl? Yeah. Come on, give us a twirl. There we go. Well done. Say bye-bye. Thank you very much. Yeah, lovely. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.